Yeah.
So please,
No.
please. Let's start again. Yes. What was your question?
Yeah, we have a file to do form and to do list. So what's each one?
We have what?
The to do form
And to do list. It's just two separate components.
Yeah, but what would it do?
Actually, I'm willing to put the form stuff here, so the button and the input, and the to-do list is displaying the list of the tos. Okay. Clear? Let's continue. So we have here. So we said we have the to-do text and the to-do items, and we will put them as objects and not arrays. Okay. So here, this to-do form needs two things now. Initially, needs like input value, which is this dots. Let's do something. Let's do const. Yeah, but yeah, I will show how to do. But to do text, this dot state, or let's say this. Inside this there is test. There is state, and inside state there is to do text. Is it make sense?
No, I'm used to this dot state.
So there's this object. We're destructing it. Remember? We have state. And inside state, what we have? It's the same thing as doing this const. This dot state.
Yeah, this is straight.
And here it's to do text.
The other one is straightforward to do. I don't know.
Yeah, but the problem is you should challenge yourself. It's not about like staying.
Okay,
with
no, I'm used to that.
Yeah, I completely understand.
So you're saying those lines are exactly the same?
This is better because, for example, let's say we can do here like props. You can do props and put like here. Let's say you pass props called age. You can get age. So you can get them all in one line.
Okay. You can comment out line the thing so that maybe when we are reviewing, just you can comment it out.
What?
You can comment it. Okay, yeah.
So,
So
but
that know it is the same.
I want you to understand this. Why I'm doing this? I'm destructuring the state, and also I'm destructuring the to-do text from the state.
I'm not getting it.
You are not getting it? Okay.
I'm not even getting the code.
What do you mean?
I mean, I get the to-do text is...
When you do this,
Yeah.
what are you gonna take? The state from the this. The this means probe, state, everything, all the class.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you do this, it's you are getting the state. And also from the state, I want to get this.
Okay. I get it.
Okay.
And if for example, let's say to do text is an object with value,
Okay.
I can do also this value from it.
Exactly.
From the to do text, I can get the value. So you can keep doing that.
But
So it's really handy if you want to get a lot of properties like once.
But one thing is, now you're saying constant. How do we get this constant?
What do you mean?
That's my issue. Normally we say const and then variable name and then we say equals something. But then you
But I guess we covered that last time, no? We covered that.
Do that.
We didn't do that? So do you like when you have like object, name, first, Eunice, page 23,
Yeah.
and you do this object with the name. After that you do first, and here you can do age. var. So now we have name. No, we have just a second. Let's put this here. Yeah, because name. So it's really. So we have here. Yeah, because. Yeah, we have this. So we have this object, and we can do this. And first will be Yunus, and age will be 23. Why?
Did we have this last time?
We discussed the structuring. We discussed also array spreading.
Yeah, we did discuss everything.
So it's almost the same, but you work with keys instead of indexes. Instead of doing, let's say, bubble. Okay. So it will be converted to var object equal object. First is object.name.first. Object.name.first. And age is object.age. So instead of like doing all this code, you can see. Is it clear or not? Is it a little bit difficult? Like, I don't know, like, should I just remove it, stop talking about it, or is it okay now?
Yeah.
So instead of like, if you have really big object, instead of, if I don't use this, I need to do this. Name var name equal object dot name dot first. Not name, it's first. And var age equal object dot age.
But you still make your object first, and then you can type that.
You get inside the object and you get stuff. So this like use like this way. So it's called object. This right. If I remember. Yeah, it's this. It's called the structuring assignment. It's almost the same as we did last time. You have here like AB 1020. You remember this?
Yes.
You remember this? All of you? You can see on the screen? Below the screen, please. You can do the same thing with objects. But instead of relying on indexes, this is the first, you have keys. So you can do like this. Num1, num2, and here you put object and you say num2, num1. The order is not really important, so it will get num2 and put it here, and num1 and put it here. You can even omit num2. I just want to get just num2. Clear? So is it clear here or not?
Yeah, it is now.
We are just like taking state. After that we are taking, now we don't have value and this thing, so.
Because you said this, you mean this object.
It's like the class. Because we do like this dot state.
Yeah, I mean instance.
Yeah, the instance. Okay?
Instance.
But for example, let's say this name is to do text. So you are kind of using the same name here, and you should use the same key, because like the only unique thing in an object is a key. Let's say, but you want to name it an input value. You can say input value. It will still get the object here. It's like doing like this. Const to do text this dot state. So it's called to do text. But you can name it to now val2 or something. So it will get this value. Fine, you can keep it like this. If you want to rename it, you can use this. Clear? Is it clear or not here?
Yeah, and in the second step, yeah, this.
But we need to practice. That's the thing. So, it's not this one.
And this is still just the
This is JavaScript. This is ES6 or ES7. I don't know. I guess it's ES8. Yeah, because now, like from now on, ES6 it's 2015. We call it ECMAScript 2015 or ES6. 2016 it's called ES7. 2017 it's called ES8. 2018 it's called ES9 and going on. Because they will be like producing versions and new improvement to the language each year, every year. So this is why I say like ES7, ES8, ES9, because some of these like stuff are not included yet in JavaScript, because there is like the concept of stages and stuff. If you want to read about it, like ECMAScript, like way of working. Okay, so the input value it's to do text. We could do this dot state dot to do text. Okay? But and here I can use const equal this dot props. So from the props I want to get the input value from the props. Clear or not?
Can you go back again to the
Yeah,
do?
okay. I'm just passing here an input value prop.
Okay. Okay.
So we can do this. We can do import prop types from prop types. It's called to do form dot prop types equal. What's like all the props that we need? Which props we need? We need the input value, because we need the input value here. Okay, which is prop types dot string dot is required. It will not function without. You were here when we covered this? Okay, so the idea is sometimes like the component accepts some props, 3 or 4 props or something. But if you are working in a big project, let's say Facebook, they have 2,000 or 3,000 components. Imagine 3,000 components. Just imagine the number, that's so much. If you want to use like, you have been like, there's like a lot of components, you will not remember them all. Let's say you are a new employee on Facebook or something, and you want to use a component, the chat component. It accepts like username, list of messages, and what you want to do when the user send the message. Okay? So these are like the needed component. But you, as a new developer, you don't know what's needed inside this component. So you need to go inside the component code and start like searching for. You should like do this dot props, and you look for which props are used. That's too much. In React, we have a way called prop types. It's like the prop types. Which types are you accepting as props? So you put here all like the list of all props that you need. So and when developer needs to know your component or something, he just like come here and he starts like using, oh, your component needs this and this and this. Okay, I will use that. And for example here, I can do this. And it will list like the input value, and it's required. because my editor web store is reading through the code and like parsing and stuff. So you got the idea behind that? And there's like types, because if this accepts text, I cannot pass the number. If it's accept an array, I will not pass a string or something. So I specify here input value. The prop types is a string and it's required. That's it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Now you put the prop types here. Because this is where it's used. Will you also be putting it in the manager?
No, it's empty. But it's better to also do this here. So each component has prop types and default props. You should do that every time. But here, just for the sake of knowledge, I'm not really.
But normally you will.
In the beginning, you will say, it's not that important, but your project will get bigger and bigger. You start regretting. Okay? What else we need? We need a function here that handle on change that calls setState. But instead of changing this state here, we should change the state of the parent. So the parent will give the child a function, and when the child calls the function, it will update the state of the parent. How? Let's do it. Let's say update to do text. Okay? It takes a value, and here it will this dot set state value. We can just do this shorthand properties. You know this. Instead of putting value. Clear? Yeah. We can just use value. I need to bind the function. This dot update to do text equal this dot update to do text dot bind this. Now it's bounded to this context. It will never change. Why? Because I will pass this function to the child component, and the child component will be calling it. So we need to make sure that this here is referring to this. So I need another change update to do text. It's a function, so I say prop types dot func dot is required. Okay, and I should pass it here. So update to do required. Okay, so it's a function. Where I should pass?
This.
I should pass this dot update to do text. But no, not calling the function, just passing the function. But I can do better. I can just put this here, because like state, I can just do it here and put it here. Because it's this dot update text, and it's this dot state. So from this I can take properties. Is it clear or not? Just imagine this as an object that contains update text function and contains state, and the state is an object that contains. That's it. There's nothing special about this. This means this object. Okay? Let's see if we have. Yeah, so now on change should be, so we can put update to do text here. Update to do text here. Okay? But this will give me not a value, but it's an event. So I should do event dot target dot value. Remember, because it's an event. What?
It's like
Yeah, because on change we call this function, and when the on change call a function, what will be like the first parameter? It's the event, and this is the same function. This is the function. It's not the same. It's this function. So I get here the event or something, and I access target dot value. Clear or not? Nice. I can do the same here. I can do this is event. I can take the target from the event, and this is the target. I can take the value from it. So I can use this everywhere. Below, please. This is really important. Please. You can see what I did here.
But you can just pass the event up and update.
This is like the event. What?
You can just pass the event down.
What do you mean by the event? What's that?
Like you have value, but event target dot value.
Event.
So this is-
Event dot target dot value.
Okay, we can pass the event and update the details up to here. Yeah, this,
We can pass the event here,
yeah.
but event is an object. It's an object event because you do like this. E dot event dot target. It's an object with multiple objects inside it. So you can do the same. You can destruct it and put event here. Put target dot value, and you can put here, and even the event, even the target. It's also an object, and you can take the value from it. Clear? But I will not do that. Okay. So now we have the input value. Now let's change. Let's put the to do text here. Let's put that reverse. I don't remember if it's what?
Use push.
What do you mean?
That's to do that.
No, why I should use push?
You want to use the reverse.
Yeah, reverse. I just want to like flip the text. I'm just trying to experiment with something, but we don't need to do the input value. It's just replacing every time. So now we have like object. So there is something wrong. We are passing something wrong. This value is coming from here. So input value is wrong.
We used to have the input value in the target here.
So exactly. So because this is an object. So I'm saying. So either I would do this. Yeah, object are not valid React child. Yeah. So either I do this. Or
Line 17, you can use input value and then the event target.
we can just use this. It's like okay.
Doesn't this mean that? Oh, it's fine.
Now we need the on click, which is adding something. So we need like the add to do. Okay, it's the same thing. It's an event. And we need to do the same thing here. Add to do. Okay? Yeah, no. Okay? So here we will do like console.log adding to do. Clear? it's still complaining about the onClick because it's saying that onClick listener to be a function instead got a value of string, because onClick we are putting string here, so we should put the function and we need to pass it as a parameter. So here you pass, you say add to do equal add to do. You can do this dot add to do. At the same time, you can use this. Are you finding this better, like typing like less code, or it just making stuff more complex? So it's your choice.
I like this code.
Should I keep this or should I just
keep this.
should I keep this?
This
This is better, I guess.
we'll practice this because it's less code and we know.
Okay. So add to do, and here we do add to do. We need to add it here. Add to do is function and is required. I will stop adding prop types to here, but just to get the point what I'm doing. Every time I need props or something, I list them all here. Add to do, okay? On click add to do. So now should be working fine. Not really. It's not working fine. There's something wrong. When you type, it doesn't type, so we are not updating the state. If I'm typing and nothing working, I'm not updating the state. So let's go back to here on change. First thing, let's check that I'm calling this function, or the input inside the to do form is calling this function. So we say console.log update state, and let's say event. Okay. Yes, it's working. But why it's not updating the state? That's my problem. So this function is firing, but it's not really. So let's try to console.log event.target.value. Okay. Not working. Why? Counting what? So, yeah, so I'm not updating the state. Why I'm not updating the state? Can you spot there is a clear bug here in my code? Just, it's around set state. Because I'm consuming here to do text. I'm consuming to do text. But here I'm setting set state value. What is value? There is no such a thing as value. We should add to do text here. I need to update to do text and not random value. I don't have any value here. So now it's working. Okay? I can remove this one. Now let's check the. What? What do you mean? No, it's not.
That's not the console.
Oh, you mean this thing?
Yeah.
Because I'm just displaying the state here. So you can see that the state is consumed by two things. This thing here and also another component, child component. So I have the same state, but when displaying it, I can just use it anywhere. Single source of truth and multiple consumer. Okay? So yeah. Now let's check the add to do. Let's type something here. adding to do. But when I add to do, I need to get the text. How I can get the text? What? I need here like const input text. How I can get this here? From the event? Nah, it's an on-click event. There is no such a text. Cannot say event dot type the target or something. Text. How I can get the text here?
Push that.
The text that I'm typing here. So you can add it to the to-do list. Which value? Which? Just tell me like JavaScript code what I should type. Input value.
That's too far. That's too far.
What do you mean? Come on.
Just go to
This is
the-
an exercise. What I should do?
just it's the to do form.
Yeah.
Like it's too for me.
Yeah, but what I should type here? I cannot say to JavaScript go to file and read value.
The tag is this, but state
Perfect.
and
To do.
To do text.
to do.
Perfect. That's it. Because I have a parent, and in the state of the parent, I have to do text. I'm passing two things: the value and how to update the value to the to do form. And each time you update the value, you update the value inside the parent. So I can just get the input value from the parent because it's stored there. Weird?
Yeah, because before you said, when we set the state, it takes some time.
Yes, for sure. But here I'm using another function.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm using completely another function. Okay?
But because of tenant, we don't use props here.
What do you mean by we don't use props?
This, but something we maybe use this prop, the props.
But this is the parent. We are calling to do manager here. We are not giving to do manager any props.
Yeah, we need directly state.
So to do manager has state. So it doesn't really rely on props. Okay? So this is the input text. So now I can do const to do item equal an object because I need to insert an object. So I can do this dot state dot to do items, or I can do the same here. I can do const input text and to do items from this dot state. You remember this? Input to do this. It's the same thing here, but instead of this dot state. So I don't need to specify state, and inside it, other things. Is it clear? Is it clear or just seriously?
Somehow.
Yeah, but what's the problem? Try to like then. What's your?
I got it to different these two lines, const input text and input item. Now when you get the second one. Okay, like this. I mean like
Just remember, we have an object here.
yeah,
Object has some properties. We can take these properties here and put them inside variables. Instead of typing that manually, you can just use this approach. Okay?
And the second line is say new variable according to the text in line 22, so you can put two items together.
What happened if we have
in the constructor.
Yeah.
This dot name
Dot state.
and this return an object
This dot
or a value, if a value. Yes.
Like this.
And on the in the
Here?
this dot state, we have also name.
Let's say you have here name,
Yes.
like
How
this.
can we?
the same. The same.
This is better. We can do it here.
Yes.
So here we have this. You have state. So you can get the name from the state. Or you can get the name from the this.
Yes. But
But now they are like two variables. How you can distinguish between them?
Yeah.
You can just assign another value to this one. For example, this state name.
yes.
Did you just change the name from here?
No, just another variable. Name here.
Like the state name.
So we have when we want to call this name.
Because just
Yeah.
second, we are declaring variables here for each thing that we get. Not these things, but these things. Like the leaf, the children. And we cannot declare variables with the same name. But we can just change the name of one of the variables. You can change the name here, or you can change the name here. This name. You got the idea?
Yes.
So you get less code and also some problems when it's come to naming. But it's not really a big deal. For example, here you can say name, and it will refer to this name because it's this
Yeah,
dot state.
yes,
You are getting the name of this dot state, but you are not referring to this one.
Yeah.
But when you put this one here, let's say you put name here, you are referring to this name.
How about if you take the construction, the one creating the props and this one, you just write state,
What do you mean?
open brackets.
If you want the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole what?
State.
Yeah. Line 8,
8?
yeah, 8 and 7. You can delete it or you can just use the state there.
What do you mean by delete this?
Yeah, yeah. You write state up instead of this place.
But your code should be inside a function or something. This is a class. You cannot write code inside the class. How we can call it? How we can refer to this code? This is like
Is it there?
what?
Those two, the referred for parents state, right?
No, this one is referred for the parent.
Okay.
But this is a constructor. This is my class constructor. This is calling the parent, the super. But this is just a constructor, just JavaScript constructor. You can still remove this and have the constructor. It's just JavaScript constructor. Is it clear? I can see that you are kind of confused. Why?
I removed the run name so that it will be the last one. Okay.
Clear or not?
But
What's the problem? Like, please ask me.
Right, scrub a little bit. Okay, okay.
انت مالك معانا. And look, I'm trying to focus.
Yeah.
But you're just making us sick.
Yeah.
That's all I just making you look more sick now.
Lots of learning lots of things. Lots of
Like update state. Sick, add one. Add one to sick.
that's one, yeah. And the one now is plus 100. And all of this.
But also this on-tree can update. This all of them new, so I think it's focused on it. This new things coming up
Okay.
fast now.
But I guess you have if you are confused about something, you have the opportunity to ask now, or never.
Yeah, in the line 20.
20?
3.
It's commented code. It's not really a code.
But you've just gone.
It's wrong. We don't need it.
Oh.
Other questions?
How we got the value from input?
This one?
Yes.
How you mean like how we are using this here? How we are using
Yes,
the
how we
structuring?
got, the
How it's updated? How it's like referring to the value inside the input text? That's your question?
Yeah.
It's like why this value is equal to the value here.
Yes.
Okay, so this we have piece of state here to do text.
Yeah.
We are passing it to this form, and inside this form we are saying value equal this value, which is coming from props, which is this value.
Yes.
Okay, that's the first thing.
Yes.
We are passing the value from the parent to the child, and the input is displaying this value. Okay, how we are updating it? Here, we have a function that updates the to-do text using a parameter. We are passing this function to the to-do form. Inside the to-do form, every time you change the input, you call that function, and this variable inside the state will be updated, and you can use it anywhere inside this component.
Spider.
Exactly, that's the idea behind it. Clear? Other question? Is it clear for you?
Yes.
Nice.
We didn't add the text to the.
What do you mean?
We didn't use the button.
Not yet.
Okay, good.
We are just doing console.lib. So, shall we continue? Where are you going?
Yes, I want to
Okay.
see my car.
Okay. Oh, someone is stealing it.
He got his hands there.
I need to see my bike. Cheap stuff. Cheap stuff. Maybe someone will steal the lights. The 20 krona lights. So, other questions? So you can
But
see,
if you
you are giving, like, for example, me. Let's say, Solomon, you are giving me like a piece of information, and you are giving me also a way on how to call you when this piece of information change. Okay? And I have the piece of information. You give it to me through props. And also, you give me a way, maybe to notify you or function in JavaScript, or you can say call my number. And every time something change, I will call your thing or call the function that you give to me, or the phone that you give me or something. Okay? So
So he's the parent.
he's the parent. He's giving the child piece of information and a way on how to change the information on the parent. Set state is not called on the children. So we can technically change this to do form. We can do something. We can change it to a function because we don't have any state or life cycle. To do form, and instead of doing this, we do like props, and this dot props. We change it from a class to a function. because we don't have any state or anything here.
But if you have the parents, you cannot do that.
In the parent, I cannot do this because the parent has state, the parent has state, has some methods, maybe we will have life cycle. So
Just that line. Okay, go back again. That line. Oh no, to-do list manager. Line 17 and line 22.
17, 22.
Look similar, but
yeah, here we are changing the value, but
okay.
it's not me. It's not, when I say me, it's the to-do list manager. The to-do list manager is not calling this function. It's another component calling this function. And here we are getting the value because someone else is updating the value.
Should we export function
What do you mean?
in the form?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay. And here we can have const to do item equal. It's an object with let's say value, let's say text, input text. Okay, or we can just do like this here, text, and put it here. So you can see how you can change them. Okay, I will not keep it like this. Text, let's say here done. It's false, and so that's it. That's the only thing that I need.
Yeah, you have to do on both of them.
Yeah, done of course. But just one thing, I need an ID. So I will initialize an ID. This dot ID equals 0. Or let's say to do ID equals 0. Okay? And here we will not put the ID inside because as we said we will have an object, so we will have like outside as a key. So we can say const new to do items. Okay? You remember the array? When we did this like it's an array, we can do the same with objects. So we can say to do items. So to do items is just one. To do items it's from the state. To do items is from the state. Let's say here just item. It's better to just say item. Okay? To do items here it's from the state. So now we are kind of creating a new object, and from the to do items, the old object, we spread them all. We open them. So it will kind of create a new one.
Pin number 12 also.
What?
Pin number 12 item also.
The items, number 12, the item.
Line
12.
Up.
I don't need to change it to items.
Okay.
Because this is item. This is just a variable that I create now. But this to do items, it's to do items from here, it's from the state. I didn't change it. And here, so we have the object. I need to add a new item. So I say the new ID. So let's say const new ID. Let's say to do this dot to do ID plus plus. Or we can put the plus plus here. So we can increment it, after that we can use it. You remember the difference between plus plus before and plus plus after? Plus plus before, you increment it, and after that use it. So new ID, if we put it this before, new ID would be 0. You assign, after that you increment, or you increment and after that you assign. Here you increment, after that you assign. After you assign, after that you increment. Because now it's 0, So it's better to put it here, right? Because you want to put 0 here and put it 1. The next time you will have 1 and you make it 2. So you kind of you prepare it for the next one.
Yeah.
Here we are incrementing it, but before we are assigning it because
What it's going to return is it's going to return.
it's not returning anything. It's not a function.
Yeah, but I'm saying that when you put after it, it's going to give the
One.
values for the query.
Yeah.
And for the
Here-
assignment, then you
Here
want-
it's 0. It's
Yes,
0.
Exactly.
So we need just the 0.
Yeah.
But we increment it. So next time you don't need to increment it. You just use it after that you increment it.
Yeah.
So it's like you take the value, you increment it, and you give it to the next one. The next one will take the value, increment it, and give it to the one after that. Okay? So here we need to put new ID and put item here. So new ID is the key, item here. But if you let's say like new ID here should be what? Should be 0 or 1 or 2 or something? True? Should be 0 or 1, should be a number, depending on how many like to-dos we have. But here it's new ID, it's string. Because it's static. Let's say here you put key. It will be key. It will not refer to any variable. And when you put new ID here, it will be key. It will be just new ID. It will not refer to anything. So how to put a variable here? We want to put a variable as a key and not as a value. You just use this. It's like the same thing when accessing, like when you do like this dot state, you can do this dot state dot to do text, or you can this dot state dot to do text. But you just need to put it. Okay, and you can do even this key equal this, and you put key here. So you are accessing something dynamically. Okay? Is it clear? So we do like this. So we change this to a variable instead of having this, which is static. It's just new ID. Okay?
So what you're doing is saying 0 equals new item, 1 equals next item, 2 equals next.
Yeah. But we can do better because 0, 1 is like an array. So we can have like, we can do like this. We can have kind of string. So we say ID. And we can just do this. So the keys will be ID1, ID2, ID3, ID4. Is it clear? It's just putting here, for example, 5. It will be like string ID5 or ID6 or ID17. Clear? So that's it. And you put set state. The dot set state set state to follow me please.
New item.
To do items equal to new to do items, and also the to do text value to empty. We initialize it. Let's try. So we don't need the event here. Actually, let's try to initialize it. Hello. I'm not displaying anything. I can check that using React. To do for like to do manager. So it's ID 0. You can see here. It's an object. But before, let's just
Try calling
just a second. Let's before let's item. Text is undefined. Why text is undefined? It's called to-do text and not input text. It's stored in the state as to-do text. It was a mistake. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's working. Okay. So now we need to pass the to-do items. So to-do text, to-do items from the state. We are adding stuff to it. We need to pass it to the to-do list. So to-do to-dos equal to-do items. And we can go here. But the only thing, let's put UL here. So I need to make a loop here. Before loop, there is something. It's an object and not an array, so I cannot use for each or even map. Map is for arrays. So now it's JavaScript. It's up to you how you want to consume a JavaScript array object as an array. It's really up to you. You can convert it to an array, do whatever you want. Because it's just displaying it and not what we're working with. So mainly, what I used to do like this, object.keys. And I will give it this dot props dot to-dos because I'm passing to-dos. Okay, const keys. Okay, you know this method? You've never heard about it? So this method returns the keys inside the object. So if we will have this, let's say name. Let's say our example ID 0. It's an object. ID 1. It's another object. Okay. And you do, let's put in a variable. Let's say v object dot keys v. It will give you an array with all the IDs. It's simple. It's a method, you give it an object, it will take just the keys and return an array back with all the keys. So we can use it here. We have the keys now. So we can map over the keys. So we can say keys dot map. Here we give it a callback. What we will get here? It's just key. Because it's keys. It's an array of ID 0, ID 1, ID 2. And here we can do this dot props dot to do, and I get. I'm not displaying anything. I'm just. Is it clear this one? So here I have to do, const to do, and I return. I can create a new component called item and something. I will just put null here. You know how to do that now. So okay. Now I will do like span. Inside it I will put to do dot text. Okay. Clear? I will put a checkbox here. Input. It will not work, but just type. Check box. Let's say value here. No, but you can do that. It's up to you. I'm just trying to focus more on the state and how you pass stuff.
Because I want to see how
You will see that because we are not storing the state here. We are storing the state in the to-do list manager. You got the idea? So we will need we still need to
Of course, yeah. Even if we make another component, it doesn't matter because we're still saving.
exactly. We are not putting. It will be easier if we will put the state here. We can just use the state here.
Yeah, exactly.
But now we are passing the state. So even if you will have another component, you will pass the state twice instead of once. Because you have a component passing state to another component. You can have also the component, the props that you pass to this component, you can also pass them to the other component. So you can have like ancestor. So for example, up can pass props called name to do manager list. To do manager list will get dot props, which is up, and forward it, pass it again to the to do form. So you can just keep passing props because it's just it's like calling a function with a parameter, and that function will call another function inside it and give it the same parameter, and you keep going on.
And the last component will change because of that function.
Exactly. So here we can put, because we have to do, we can to do dot done. Anything wrong? Hello. Each child in array should have an ID. So I should put an ID here because I'm repeating. My ID is just the key because it's unique. The key. My key is the key here. But it will not work if I put anything here. Yeah, I cannot change it because it's getting the value from the props, and I need another on change here so it can change. So because we will do that, but if we change this to true, now every time it adds, it will be checked because now it's true. But now now it's reading the value, but we need a way to update the value. Okay, but before that, I want to make like line through. So it just like I want to show you how to put CSS. So if it's checked, line, and let's make it red. Okay, so it's CSS, it's not JavaScript. So let's create a class called dot checked. Checked. Let's say color red, text decoration, line true. Okay, so if we will go to this now and change the class to class checked, okay, let's just say font size, let's say 20 pixel. Okay, so now the idea, we will check if done is false, we add the, if done is false, we don't do anything. If done is true, we add this class to the span. How we can do that? Just a second. So now, let's say, well, yeah, this is the, let's say checked, and we have also unchecked. It's green, underline, let's say.
What if you type initial?
What?
Initial.
Initial? What's that?
Can you go back to normal?
No, I want to make it underline.
Okay. What if you didn't want to make it online?
I can just not do anything here because I will not use the check. The check will be applied if it's true.
Yeah, but it would still be line true.
No, because I will remove the class check. If I remove the class check,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I will not keep the class check. Underline, font size, it's 20. Probably I should like get font size, put it in another class called, or I can just put span here. Font size. Okay. So it will be always 20 pixels. I don't need to add like 20 pixels and remove. So here, if yeah, let's go to the to-do list. Here, the span, we will say class name. Class name. Okay. We can use if else, but we need to use a ternary. So if to do dot done, we put a value checked. Otherwise, unchecked. Test is green. When we will implement the checkbox, it will toggle between them. So now it's clear. Let's implement checking. So we want to react to each time you click this one. We want to react or change something. Your reaction. So use this on change. You get the pattern. You provide a value, and on change you change the parent state, on that. Or if the state is here, you change the state here. You know where is the state. So, just a second. I need to write something. So here we will pass a function called update to do. Okay. Update to do. Update just one to do, or update to do item. It's this dot props. You can do like this. And we need to pass this. What was your question? You want to ask me? Someone? Is it you, Salomon?
No.
What?
No, you wanted to ask.
No, I said if to do done is true, or do a function.
Yeah, but I want to do something. Each time you click on this input, we don't have any item. Each time you click on this, you change it to the opposite version. If it's true, it's false true, you toggle it. And you change the style here. That's automatically. How we can do that? Every time this input change, we call this function, and we need to pass this function as a prop from this, and we do like this to do this item, and we say this dot, or we can just put it here and create a function. You get the pattern? No. Function, and the function here will update the state. To do update state here. But there is one thing.
But isn't this one quite easy because you just take your gun and say
Yeah, but which item I want to update? That's the problem now. How I can get
You have to write them all of them.
what?
From them, write all of the items.
Using the key, because the key is the unique element. But which item I want to update? The thing is, I can do this. So this component should take an ID. Let's say like item ID, and it should do const new items. Yes, new items. You do the same. This dot state items, because I want to update the state again, all of it.
yeah.
So even if I have an object with object inside it, even if I want to update just small value inside the object, I need to update everything. That's kind of a pattern you need to learn. So new item, const new item equal. I will do like this. This dot state dot to do items. To do items. Item ID. This will give me an object with two properties, key and done. I want to spread them. So this line will put two keys here inside my object. Okay? Clear? I can see confused face.
Yes.
Why? This will return what? An object. It will return. You don't know like why I'm like, you don't know how I'm passing this, but I will show you. But just assume that this is the item key. Okay? This will return the item.
Yes.
It's an object. I can do this. I can do item here, and after that I can put it inside a variable var x equal, and I can say it's x dot done equal not x dot done. Flip it. Clear? I can do that. After that I call set state. But this is not good.
Wow.
Why? Because we need to, let's say, yeah, let's say you have
That's
this,
what I did.
yeah. Let's say you have, let's say, no, let's say you have like this, ID 1, ID 0, text, test 1, done, false. Text 2, done, false. Okay? We have like object. Let's say you do object dot ID1, ID0 dot done, false. Or it's not this one. So we will change it. Now object, I didn't execute the line yet. 0 dot done, it's false. Now when we do this, we change it.
Yes.
If we do this, it's true and not false anymore. But the object changed or not? This object? No, because we still have the same object. So object equal object true. So how we can know if we updated our object yet or no? You will say I don't care if the object is updated or not, but React cares. Why React cares? Because every time you call setState, you need to re-render everything. So React can make an assumption. If the object is still the same, why re-rendering everything? Because sometimes you don't need to change anything, but you still call setState. So if you call setState with the same array, for example, React will not change anything. But React cannot just figure out what's changing and what's not.
Yes. You just changing the now you're showing us object is equal to object.
Yeah, but we changed something inside the object, but not the whole object.
Yeah.
We changed it like true or false inside an object.
Yeah.
So the object didn't really change.
True or false?
When I change this,
You should have changed this to true, right?
True, yes.
I changed this true,
Yeah.
but the object is still the same.
Why shouldn't it be?
Because it's the global object, I'm changing something inside the object. Because I have an array called A. I change a number inside the array. I still have the array A.
Yep. You said that it's
I changed the content of the array, but the reference of the array is still the same.
Alright.
You got the idea? The content is changing,
Okay.
but I cannot say if the content changed or not. I can say if the content changed or not if I go through all the items in the array and compare them one by one.
Oh,
But that's so expensive.
because it's not validating all the items.
No.
The indexes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is called deep comparison. Deep comparison means to check if some things are the same. I just needs to go through all of them.
Yeah.
Or to avoid deep comparison, I can, when change anything inside the object, I can just create a new object. So what I can do, it's object. Let's say I will create the object again. Okay, so I will do new object. No, new item for example. Equal dot id 0. It's just a new item, and I will do this, or I can do like this. It's the same. This will give me this object. I will take it, I will destruct it, so I will have like these two. So this object will contain these two. After that, I can override. So I can say done. Done. So I can say done. It's object done. Here. So I just assign done. Just forget about this stuff. Just forget about this and this. Just say done object dot id 0 dot done. So done is equal to the opposite of it. But I already have done here. It will override it.
It will override. So if you at the end of that line
Yeah.
write done again,
If I will write done here false, it will be false.
it will be false. So it always takes the
If I
last
wri-
one.
Yeah, the last one. It will override the first ones. Okay? Did you get this? Did you get this?
Yes.
Okay. But I hope like by practicing you will be. So here I will do the same. I have an array, I have object of objects. I can create a new item and I can say this dot state dot to do items. I can see item ID. I will destruct it like the first one. I have and override done with the opposite of this value. So it's better if we don't repeat this. Let's say old item const old item. Just put this in a variable so I work with it. Old item and done equal not old item dot done. Clear? I will do the same. I will do const new items equal. Now I will change the global object. So I do the same here. I will do the same here. This is like this dot state dot to do items, and the item ID I will replace it with the new item. So I have smaller object, I replace it, and then I go to the global object and also replace the whole object. So replacing 2 times, replacing value inside the inner object and replacing the whole object with a new object.
And that item ID is a key, and new item is an ID.
Yes. I also use it here, and I can call set state. This set state dot new to do items. But it's not new to do items, it's to do items. The only thing now it's how to get this variable. We can get this variable from here. So instead of passing this function, we can write a row function here. Okay, it's the same thing, just a row function. And we can call that function here and pass to it key. So this is like a function. Instead of calling this function directly, we put like a function, so we can access to this scope, and in this scope we put the key.
If you just go there, so now go back and control that, see what we had before.
Before we had just like we have this. So now,
We can add the key in the
yeah, you can bind it and do weird stuff, but no, it's not the JavaScript way. So update to do item, you put a function here, and inside the function you have console.log ID key, and you can just call the function with the key. Let's try. Test. Add. No. Error. Cannot read property to do items of undefined. So cannot read property to do items of undefined. So it's this line. I'm binding it. Yes, because I didn't bind it. And this is a random this. We can never know where is the this is. So we need to bind it to make sure that the this is referring to. Just be careful with the guitar. Oh, you should check it. Okay, let's try again. Test. Add. It's working.
But why were you saying before that this is not
Yeah, because I was not binding update to do item, and I was passing it to another function, and there was like another context, like whatever.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure that this is like this class instance. So now you can add.
So what happens if
You will lose everything.
and how can
You have 2 options. The first one is to use like indexed DB or local storage or anything inside the browser, but that's not how applications works. Or you can use the backend and have Node.js applications or PHP or anything. And every time the user add the button here, you do a request. You change it, add it in the database. We will do that. We will try to do that either in the next class or the class after, because we still have 2 weeks. But I guess today we are done with React basics. So no, there is no more React stuff. So from next class we'll be just reviewing. So you are done with React. When someone asks you, do you know React? Yes, you know React. No, technically, like, I know you need a lot of practice, but I'm talking about you will not see something new. You will just see these things in a more complex way.
Yes.
But this is React. There's just one more thing, which is React router. It's not React. It's separate like library. If you need, for example, if you want to have like here slash, for example, when you do slash hello, you render another application. So you react to the route change. You got the idea? For example, Facebook, when you go to slash. So, but that's separating. But except that, this is React. There is nothing new.
So the method for remove and add almost the same.
What?
If you wanna like update, remove,
Yeah.
add,
Yeah.
now you show us.
Because we have like an object, so you interact with the object in the same way. You have an ID, you get the ID, you update it, you remove it. You can even update delete, which is just deleting the key. You just delete the key. You have here the item ID, you just delete the key.
I tried to remove a picture.
That's a little bit difficult when it's come to array. So let's say homeworks. Hack your future React.
Homework with the remove.
It's too late. The same to-do list. And
So your job
Use
is to
one.
build the same one, your way. Please, no more everything inside one component. Do like what I did, and even try to put, for example, this one to-do list. Put this li in a separate component. You should not have like component that exceed 50 lines or something. Please, that's really important. That's really important because when you will graduate, you will write the project, and you need to do this stuff in your project. The first thing, so you can get review and you can get points. The second thing, you will use your project as a proof of concept that you know React. And if you give it, for example, to in an interview, they will ask you, did you use React before? You will show them your project, and if they will see everything in one component, they will say, you are not using React. You are using component, but you are not. You are using extend component, something from React, but you are not using React. So that's really important. Okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing, try to use some design, because I showed you how to do design. You just import index and classes, and you can manipulate classes. You can add push. You can have two classes in an array. So yeah. So except adding, you will have like an add here. You will have like add. You need to have the checkbox, and you need the remove. So that's the new thing that you can do. So the first thing that you should do, without looking at my code, try to build the same thing. After that, if you are stuck or something, try to get inspiration from my code. Okay?
I would actually first try.
Yeah, play with my code, understand why I did this. After that, build a new one, add the remove functionality. And
can we edit our
You want to say that?
and if you want to do the update,
this?
remove and update, you will have the full credit. So you can add, you can remove, you can uncheck. So you need to add remove. It's not optional. Please add the update. If you add the update, challenge yourself. It will be a little difficult, but just it's almost the same update. We are updating done. Yes. Done false true. But instead of with false true, you get the text and you update it. You replace the text instead of replacing the done. So it's almost the same thing. But just try to think about it.
I use complete and undo for this.
What?
I use complete and undo in this false and true.
Yeah, if you can do that, that's also would be okay. Thank you for today.
Thank you.
Thank you for learning.